to get a buzz or a high, brother, you're jumping in increments of like fucking. Oh, to get a buzz out of it is like here, bro. You're close, you know. It's just kind of how it is. I don't know what to tell you. That's just what it is.
City exists because nothing, and I mean nothing, is better than family.
That's what it is.
I think it helps to promote it as a family town, and it.
Bro, I'm not a doctor. That's just what it is. I don't want me to tell you.
It's been that way since the town was established. So there have been referendums to try to make it not a dry town, but they're usually overwhelmingly defeated.
I voted against it.
Ocean City resident Bob Hutchinson thinks an ordinance permitting BYOB service in Ocean City restaurants will
Holy
ruin the
fuck!
town.
I last pause. Guys. Let's say people that are addicted to like painkillers, dude. They take one painkiller, 1.5, whatever. Okay, cool. That's how much it takes for them to get a buzz out of it. Then, bro, you take 3 or 4, there's a chance you're gonna die, dude. But depending on what you're taking, that's just what it is.
There's this
like
town called Jersey Shore.
The alcohol skill is much higher.
And I don't
Oh man, this chat, dude.
here.
I'll just I can't.
Where's the bitch?
Let's go. Insufficient. It's being a nuisance.
People like the consistency of knowing that it's dry when they get there.
When did you first come to Ocean City?
I've been coming here, I lived here as a child. I went to elementary school and then moved away, and we have come back 50 years with the family. So that they know no matter where they are, whether it's Seattle or California or Miami, they come to Ocean City for 1 week in the summer and we all get together. And now it's 2 weeks, and this year was a month. So.
How do you think that the town would look different if there was like bars and taverns?
I can't even picture it. It hasn't been that way ever. It would be, and it's not that you can't get a drink. I mean, you can leave the island and go anywhere you want and still get the seashore atmosphere, but I can't picture the town with bars or too many years of coming here the same.
Mama mentioned that off the island.
Alright, guys, I got linked up at the same time, chat. You guys, there's a code red, so yeah, log in.
Island, it was a totally different world. And I knew from personal experience that she was right. The night before our breakfast at Uncle Bill's, I did some undercover research in nearby towns to see what the heck was going on. First, I began in Atlantic City, only about 15 miles north of Ocean City. It was...
You cannot convince me, chat. Guys. Atlantic City for me is like the sunken, it's Atlantis.
So there. Not only were the casinos full of sad, hungry gamblers, but a homeless woman called me a honky.
My brain will never
first time
intake that.
college.
It's the sunken
No,
city.
but in all seriousness, Atlantic City was a sprawling mess of decaying buildings, abandoned storefronts, liquor stores, sex shops, and bars. After Atlantic City, I went down to Sea Isle City to the south, to a bar called Shenanigans, and once again, pure and sheer degenerates. 20-year-old Americans with fake IDs, grinding, to the voice of Lil Yachty rapping the chorus to the song Broccoli, one of the worst songs ever created. And outside, I witnessed a fist fight between a pair of fathers and their sons.
That's content.
That's right, 2 dads fighting each other and their sons duking it out simultaneously.
You're not gonna say sorry.
I'm working security. I'm just making sure everything's good.
What is security guy thinking 4'3"?
It was horrifying. By the time I got back to Ocean City, I was so relieved. And for once I understood what the temperance movement was all about.
Yeah, I think it's simple. You know, they saw families destroyed or harmed through abuse of alcohol, and they wanted to create a system that precluded that from occurring.
Still, I was conflicted. Sure, Ocean City is a peaceful and quiet family town, but everywhere you look, there's police officers, surveillance cameras, and the feds constantly breathing down your neck and checking your cup, smelling your cup to see what's in there. Is that freedom? I'm not sure, but one thing's for certain.
As we learned in Ocean City, many Americans...
Guys. Wait, chat, is it glitch or they lose prio?
Your building is complete.
live in a constant state of surveillance and online privacy infringement.
What the
And
heck?
to be frank, I'm sick of it. That's why I use NordVPN, a VPN service that allows me to surf the web a little bit more incognito without Big Brother breathing down my neck and trying to figure out my IP at channel 5/channel 5. All right, chat, back to the beach.
I started to wonder how dry Ocean City really was, and found a disturbing news article that cited 2022 data from the New Jersey Department of Public Health, suggesting that Ocean City, New Jersey was actually the most drunk town in the state.
Point the way.
Hold on.
I stand ready, anxious to act. I will
Guys, what happened?
trifle with. Time is short.
Your building is complete. Your building is gold. Insufficient gold. Your building is complete. Insufficient gold. Our warriors have engaged the enemy.
Our will shall be done. Is it time?
None can survive.
Point the way. I will not be trifled with.
My blade bears
Our will shall be done.
More lumber. Our warriors have engaged the enemy. Research finished.
my blade bursts.
I will not be trifled with.
We can't build them. Your building is complete.
Time is short, mortal. Brilliant. Is it time? On your mark. Fair enough. Our will shall be done. Is it time? For the Empress.
My blade thirsts. Quickly, Honor Toranator. We must act.
Genetic syndrome or disability. Now, what about sisters, brothers and sisters? Let's
Quickly, we must
take a
act.
guess.
My blade thirsts.
And a lot of times this used to happen, Joe, because people didn't have the ability to travel far. So even if you went, 2,000 yards or 8,000 yards, you were still, over time, people were still related, even if they didn't
Right.
realize it.
Well, that's one of the concerns about that place, North Central Island, that island of uncontacted people. There's only 39 of them.
Yeah, you were
This
talking
island.
about. Yeah. Were you talking about that? Oh, about the Bible guy.
Yeah. That's that place is. There's only 39 of them. They have to be.
Must act.
What's kind of interesting about looking for this? Google doesn't really want to show me what I'm looking for. It's only bringing up animal inbreeding.
See, that's
oh,
crazy.
Wow. So Google will let you look up what it's like to fuck your cousin, but don't get crazy.
Yeah, I even specifically said like sibling incest, and it's just showing animal stuff.
Oh wow. Well, go to
Oh, here you
DuckDuckGo.
go. Having a child.
Oh, genetic risks of two siblings having a child together. Here it goes. Look at that. So that. Ooh.
Research.
Not bad. A curious adult from Texas asks. Is that us? Is that us?
Yeah.
The future crime people have caught us. Incest laws seem to be socially rather than genetically based, but I'm guessing there are biological consequences too. So what are the exact genetic risks of two siblings having a child together?
Get down to it.
Okay, you're probably right. Two siblings of kids together have a higher risk of passing on a recessive disease to their kids. Okay, what is the number? I don't want to tell you. Okay, here it goes. If a brother and sister are both carriers or have a child together, each of their children would have a 1 in 4 chance of ending up with, CF. Is that cystic fibrosis?
Yeah.
By getting a disease copy of CFTR from each parent. So the odds of this brother and sister having a child with the disease is 1 out of 4 or 1 in 16. Now,
how much they don't risk it. Dude, they used to say about us, if you rearrange the letters of sister, what does it spell? And I never forgot that.
That's good. That's smart.
Yeah, I thought it was helpful.
It certainly is.
So I had a question, like, so you know, like how golf, like the PGA started doing like the live, you know, like they have people leaving the PGA because this big money organization came in and is paying the best golfers. Could something like that ever happen to the UFC? Do you feel like?
That's an interesting question. They've tried to do that before. Affliction came along before, and they got Fedor, and they got Tim Sylvia, and Andrei Arlovsky. There was a lot of like big name fighters that went over to Affliction and fought for them, but they went under after a few events. It's hard doing something like the UFC. First of all, the UFC is so firmly established. It would be like trying to create a new NBA. It's like maybe you could do it, but you need a lot of money. Fortunately for this live golf thing, it's run by the Saudis, and they obviously have insane amounts of money. But even so, people have passed on it because they don't want to be associated with the Saudis.
But do you think, like, if they start to see that template work, and we don't really know if it's going to work yet? I mean, they're just, you know, it's just started.
It really depends on how much money they throw at them and how long they continue to do it for. They have so much money. They have so much money.
We can't even imagine it, huh?
I don't think we can imagine. Wow. Because you're talking about trillions of dollars. You're talking about oil money. I think they could just keep that ball rolling. If they decide to do that, they may be able to have like a real rival. But right now, this is the first year. Is that correct, Jamie? You're a golf guy.
The first year, second event has been completed. There's going to be 8 events. They got, well, I guess that'd be 6 more left.
And what does the vibe feel like out there as somebody who pays attention to golf and stuff? Does it feel like it's
they don't have a TV deal, so it's all being broadcast differently. And I would guess that this is a play to get a TV deal. There are still people. They just got a big announcer that went over from, I think, NBC. He's been a long time, 25-year plus guy.
Who's that?
His name's David Faraday. He's got a really like well-known voice for
golf.
Yeah.
Now, is there a stigma attached to this? Are these guys getting like
there is
outcast
for sure, but they don't seem to mind that much
because the money's so great.
Because the money is really great, and they don't have to play golf every week like they had to.
Oh, so with the PGA.
Yeah.
Right, and like, who's the one guy? Phil Mickelson, is that his name?
Biggest one.
And apparently he's not playing good.
That's the other interesting thing is they're getting prepaid money, so they don't have performance. There is performance-based money that can come if they win. There's more money to win in the tournament, but
so the rest of
they have like I read a 4.5-year contract right now. Most of these guys have varying levels of money, 6 figures. Some of them.
Only 6 figures.
On top of it,
it's okay, man. I'm nervous too.
Hundreds of millions of dollars.
Hundreds of millions. So for them, they feel like, fuck, this is my ticket out. I could retire.
Yeah.
So fuck it. Fuck all the stigma. Yeah.
And the argument against it is really that they're not going to be playing traditionally what everyone's been playing for over their careers of like
the big tournaments that everybody's accustomed to. But they don't have a TV deal right now.
Right. It's just on YouTube and their website.
But man, YouTube is so big.
Yeah, but for golf, though, I feel like a lot of people, there's something about, I feel like I see my stepdad watches it on TV, you know, it's a Sunday afternoon.
It's a TV thing.
There's a tradition about that I feel like is really baked into golf.
Maybe. I don't know enough about golf.
Yeah, me neither.
But to answer your question, yeah, somebody could come along and do something like that. It's possible. You'd have to throw a lot of money.
Insufficient gold.
And you'd
have to get guys that are out of their contract, right? You'd have to.
Yeah. You'd have to get guys that are out of their contract or get guys that are on the come up, you know, that like right about to break into the UFC and get them before they, you know, because there's a lot of like really talented guys that are coming up.
Yeah.
There's a company called ONE FC that is based out of Asia, and they put on some killer fucking shows. And I watched some of their fighters and some of their fights, and man, these guys are world-class killers. They're really good. They easily could be fighting in the UFC, many of them. And then many UFC guys like Mighty Mouse and Eddie Alvarez, quite a few guys have gone over there, and they're competing now in ONE FC. So that's like a viable alternative for some people who don't want to compete in the UFC anymore, or maybe they have a more lucrative deal for ONE FC, but it's not in the public zeitgeist the way UFC is. Like, you tell people, like, oh, I was watching ONE FC. They're like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, they think something's wrong with you.
Right, but you say UFC, it's like Q-tips. World-class killers. They're really good. They easily could be fighting in the UFC, many of them. And then many UFC guys like Mighty Mouse and Eddie Alvarez, quite a few guys have gone over there, and they're competing now in ONE FC. So that's like a viable alternative for some people who don't want to compete in the UFC anymore, or maybe they have a more lucrative deal for ONE FC, but it's not in the public zeitgeist the way UFC is. Like, you tell people, like, oh, I was watching ONE FC. They're like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, they think something's wrong with you.
Right, but you say UFC, it's like Q-tips. You know, it's like everybody knows what that means.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's NBA. Everybody knows the NBA. Everybody knows the NFL.
Yeah.
Everybody knows the UFC.
The brand is just, I mean, the brand is strong. I mean, I think the UFC had, the fact that it performed, it showed up every few weeks during the pandemic was unbelievable.
Yeah.
That brought I feel like it had to bring so many fans. That's when I became like, oh, this is my favorite sport. I didn't realize it, but after like a certain month, I was like, oh wow, this is my favorite sport.
Well, once they started doing those events, when everything else was shut down, it opened up a lot of people's eyes to like what could be possible. And so then the NBA started doing events, and all these other sports organizations started doing events with no audience.
Yeah.
You know, didn't they have baseball games with no audience?
Yeah, I think the Dodgers won the World Series with no audience.
But remember, they had like Brody was in the stands. They had big cutouts of people.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
Yeah.
Just have empty seats. Don't lie to me. I mean, I know you're lying to me.
You've worked so long at UFC. Do you feel like that? And I've watched your pace over there. I remember when I did a show with you in Atlanta, and then we did a show the night before. Then I was sitting behind you, and so like you guys are commentating, and then you go right up into the ring, and you come right back down, and you commentate again. I mean, it was like watching like it just seemed like a lot. Like, this is a lot, you know, like you have to have a real pace for it.
It's a real job.
Yeah.
You have to have energy for sure.
It blew my mind.
Yeah, it's like, and you're doing it for 6 hours. And I sit down for 6 hours and I try not to pee, which is lucky that I have good experience doing the podcast because I'm used to like holding my piss for 3 hours, but that's about my limit. So I always have to pee at least once or twice.
Ride that bag, baby. You know I like riding that bag.
It's hard though sometimes. Like, also, I'm drinking like Monster energy drinks sometimes, which are like piss magnets.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're delicious, but they make you want to pee.
Make you want to beat your wife too, dude. I've seen a lot of dudes drinking Monster that you know they're going home to punch.
I don't know if the Monster is the cause of it. I think there's probably other factors.
Well, I'll say this. It's the beverage of choice of some of those gentlemen. I'll say that. I
thought it was rock stars.
Maybe it used to be. Do you think you'll always work there? Do you ever, I mean, you've done it for a long time, you know? Do you think, I mean, I guess nothing can be forever, but do you think you'll always commentate for UFC?
I enjoy it. I enjoy the sport, but I enjoy watching it too. You know, when it came to Austin, it was the first time in 20 years that I sat in the audience and I watched it. It was great. I enjoyed the shit out of it. Just no responsibility, just being able to watch. I want to go to more of them that I'm not going to, like at the Apex Center. Those are great. Because
in Vegas?
Yeah, because it's a small arena, a small octagon, and you know, you're right there, man, right there with the action.
When you started, do you feel like, did y'all have such a strong commentating team? I mean, now it's like...
It's stronger now than ever. Yeah, it's stronger now than... John Anik is the fucking man. He's great, and Daniel Cormier's the fucking man, and, you know, when I get to do it with Dominic Cruz or, you know, anybody else that, you know, Paul Felder's fucking great. It's amazing. It's a beautiful job, and I love DC. Like, when me and DC hang out and have fun, it's just like, he's such a great guy, and he knows so much about the sport. You know, 2-division world champion and great wrestler, and just a dude who likes to have fun. Like, we laugh a lot, and it's a great job, man. I love it. I look forward to it every time. I look forward to it this weekend. I'm doing this weekend in Dallas. I'm pumped.
Oh, nice. I don't know who's fighting.
It's Amanda Nunes versus Juliana Pena.
Dude, I was at the first one.
Yes. Who knows what's happening now?
And Halle Berry was there at the first one.
Oh
dude.
yeah.
That was cool.
Halle Berry's a big fan. She's there all the time.
Yeah, that was
loves
cool.
the sport.
Yeah, Jared Leto was there. He's neat.
He's always there too.
Yeah.
He loves it. It's always I mean, it's exciting, man. You know who's a big fan of it now? Mark Zuckerberg. He's a big fan of it.
Really?
Yeah. He loves it. He got like super addicted to it. He's training now. He's doing jiu-jitsu.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah.
They should make him fight other owners of things.
Who do you think he would fight? Bezos? Bezos is a little older. Kind of cruel to make him fight Bezos. He might fuck Bezos up.
Who could he get in against? Somebody that.
I put all my money on Elon. Teach
Really?
Elon martial arts? Yeah. Figure out who the fuck he is.
Yeah. He's efficient. He just had like 9 kids in a month, I heard on Twitter. How fucking efficient is that?
I think he's doing it through in vitro fertilization.
I'm sure.
He jerks off into a FedEx kit and mails it to these ladies.
I thought about that. I thought about having a kid via like a machine or something.
You think that's the way you do it?
I think because I was thinking about having a child with a friend of mine.
A guy or a girl?
A woman.
Okay.
Damn,
Just checking.
bruh.
Just want to let you know what you can and can't do.
Yeah, Google what's the percentage of
dudes who can get pregnant. But you'll get confused now. Like, how many men can get pregnant? All of them. They'll say all of them.
Yeah.
Today, you know, no one knows what to say.
But I think
is
those
it a
men
man
are trying
or
to.
is it a woman?
Those men are trying to trick other men to busting in them all the time.
I think we're talking about trans men. That's what they're talking about.
Oh, I see where they put the ovaries into a man.
No. Like a biological female becomes a man. Trans men.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So when they said, "Can men get pregnant?" people say yes. And you're like, "Okay, I want off. I want off this planet. I can't take your fucking confusing reality."
But do you think ever that Mother Nature has a plan, a bigger plan, where in the end it all ends up that we're like trans, like Ben Simmons is, like all like crossed? You know what
Ben Simmons?
Ben Simmons is like a Mick. He's a black and I think he's black and white, right? He played at LSU. He's a great basketball player.
What does it have to do with his sexuality?
But he's beige. You know what I'm saying? He's beige. Does it? You know what I'm saying? Does it end? Because here we go.
What the fuck? He's probably like, "What the fuck, man? I'm a man. Leave me alone, bitch."
But if he put a wig on,
no.
If he put a wig on and shaved, I'm
with
just saying.
those fucking arms and hands.
Yeah.
If you get tricked by that guy,
you want to.
Yeah, you want to get tricked. You're trying to get tricked. You're like, trick me. Trick me, Ben Simmons. That's a fucking manly man. The size of his fucking hands. Go back to that picture. Bro, that guy's jacked. If you think that's a woman, I mean, maybe he is now. I don't know. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings.
No.
He's 6'11". He's giant.
Go Tigers, man. He was an LSU Tiger. But what I'm saying is.
What are you saying?
Here's what I'm saying, man. I can't believe you guys can't understand me.
I do understand what you're saying. I'm just fucking around.
Okay. And I'm just fucking around too. Okay. Let me hit that thing again. I'm just saying, if we're sending somebody in, if the trans community is gonna send somebody in to fucking vouch for them, they need to send in a fucking warrior. You know, they can't send
now
in.
I don't know what you're saying.
Okay.
I thought I knew what you were saying.
I
but now I'm
switched.
confused.
I switched to a new idea.
Okay.
What I was saying is, do you think we all end the same skin color and in some sort of a trans-sexual type of situation?
I think it's very possible that we all become genderless. Yes, I do think that's possible. Yeah, I think that might be what is happening with like microplastics or changing people's hormone systems. I don't know if you know about all that. You know about all that?
You know. I mean, I appreciate it.
There's
though.
a book called
Thank you.
Countdown
Nice of you.
by a woman. Her name is Dr. Shanna Swan, and she came on the podcast and she explained that there's certain chemicals that are in plastics and in some fertilizers that are disrupting the human body endocrine system, and it's causing people's penises to shrink, balls to shrink, sperm counts are lowering, and one of the ways they find out about this is the size of people's taints.
Oh wow.
Yes, in male mammals, the taint is 50 to 100% larger than female mammals. So like when they pick up a gerbil, that's how they can quickly tell whether or not it's a boy or a girl, is by the size of the taint. And when the introduction of phthalates, it starts with a P, P-T-H-A-L-A-T-E-S, I think it's how you spell it. You say phthalates, and phthalates are a type of chemical that disrupts the human body, and because of the use of petrochemical products, the increase of phthalates into the human body from contamination has caused people's taints to shrink, balls to shrink, dicks to shrink, sperm counts to drop, and miscarriages to go up. And they think that if you think about that, like that is like causing gender to just kind of compress and to become like more ambiguous. And in the future, if that continues to happen, what does that mean? Like, what do we become genderless? And then what do we do to try to keep the human race alive? Well, we may revert to genetic engineering, like some sort of a medical technological intervention, so we breed from like splicing genes.
So we get enough males and we get enough females.
Yeah, and that has always been what's crazy about this is, although this sounds nuts, we're talking about it now. For decades, people that have been abducted by aliens have always said that aliens are performing experiments and making hybrids with human beings because their genetic material has run stale, because they're breeding, or they're rather reproducing through genetic manipulation rather than through sex, because they don't have sexual intercourse anymore.
So they need our eggs and sperm.
They need all that stuff. They need our material. But because they don't have that anymore. So that might be where all biological creatures that develop technology, and technology in our case involves a lot of plastic. The more technology, the more plastic. The more plastic in the bodies, the more the bodies become genderless.
Wow.
Wild.
And since there's plastic in our water, like little molecules and stuff, does that affect us too, do you think?
Yes, it definitely does. Yeah, we found a statistic that's a little misleading, but the statistic is every week the average person consumes a credit card sized piece of plastic through microplastics.
Jesus.
Yeah,
that's a lot.
But then Jamie found out that the way they calculate that is like worst case scenario.
Like some dude who really likes, who sucks on the bottle.
A lot of like bottles.
Yeah.
A lot of chewing on the bottle.
Or chewing on, chewing like that dog we saw the other day. So let me think. I had a couple more questions for you. Is that all right? Okay, cool. Becoming like a celebrity in America, right? Like, I know you don't think of yourself maybe as that way, right? But you become real popular. Is it hard to keep it from like affecting your family and kids and stuff? Does that ever get like scary and stuff?
It definitely will affect everyone around you, and it affects people in a weird way where like people will like contact family members and ask for things, which is like weird. And it's not, like want to meet. Like I've had people contact my family members to ask me to introduce them to people I don't even know.
Yeah.
Like as if there's some like sort of celebrity network that you become a part of. You get a card, like, hey man, you got 15 million Instagram followers. Here's your card. Just call everybody on the list, and you could hook up your friend with Marky Mark.
Yeah,
it's weird.
And does it get scary having kids that are like, does that get scary at all? Like
all of it is scary. Yeah, it's scary. It's weird. Like having that many people, like I get a lot of people contacting me saying they got chips in their brain, and I'm talking to them through a chip in their brain. Not just one, like multiple people.
I used to have a woman like that who would come to my shows in Texas, dude, and her chip kept telling her to fuck me, dude. That's the crazy part.
Did she listen?
I sent her away like so many times. Said,
was she hot?
She was hot too.
Damn, and why'd you say no?
Because I just thought it was like a scam or something. I thought it was like some kind of a setup or something, like I just got scared, because that's scary when somebody tells you that.
You got to think of that too. Imagine if you're a guy and you're worried that every girl you meet is trying to set you up. Like you're some oligarch type of dude, and then you meet a woman, or might be someone trying to record you fucking.
Oh, even if I ejaculate, dude, I'm not, I'm doing okay, but I'll even walk out of the room backwards, to make sure, like,
How does that help?
Just to so I can see if anybody's using any of the seed, if there's any loose in the room.
Doesn't Drake pour hot sauce into his condoms?
Is that real? That's a story that went around.
So he's got like a little bottle of Tabasco by the bed.
Look, Dustin Poirier needs to step his advertising up. That's all I'm saying.
Is excellent. Dustin has excellent hot sauce. It's very good.
It is good.
It's very delicious. Like a vinegar-based Louisiana hot sauce.
It's hot enough, but it's
Hot
nothing
enough.
crazy.
Tasty. Very good. What is it called? Like diamond?
I need to know this, man.
We'll find it. Jamie will pull it up. But it's. He sent me a case of it. It is fucking very good.
It's good.
Yeah,
I'll put it on salads too.
I'm not even gonna ask him for more. I'm gonna buy it myself. Poirier's Louisiana style hot sauce. You can buy it on Amazon.
And look at him, dude, having fun with it.
Yeah, there it is.
He's so funny.
It's good too.
Oh yeah.
When someone makes something like that that's good, I appreciate that. That's a legit hot sauce. Dustin has some really good hot sauce.
Yeah, good
He's
stuff.
a good dude too. I like him a lot.
Yeah, Dustin's neat, man. He's really funny too.
He's fun dude. Fun dude to hang out.
And he likes to cook too. Do you think that Nate Diaz fight is just like a? Do you think he's gonna care about it? Is that impossible for him not to care about it? Versus
Hamzat Chimaev? Yeah. I mean, he has to care about it. Hamzat is a fucking assassin. Hamzat is a terrifying human being. He's terrifying. He's really good. He's really good and really big.
I get scared at home.
You should be.
Yeah. I mean, that's how it is.
Yeah. Hamzat's a murderer. I mean, when he gets into that octagon, he's seek and destroy. He's a dangerous man.
Do you think that it's just a setup fight for not like it's like because I know he's trying to get out of his contract? Do you think that, or do you think
Nate asked for that fight?
Oh, he did.
That's what Nate wanted to fight Francis Ngannou.
Oh damn! I didn't know that.
Nate is as game as a human being has ever been.
Wow.
That dude is wild. I mean, that's one of the things that Dana White said. They were like saying, "Why did you do this fight?" It's like that's the fight Nate wanted. He goes, by the way, Nate asked for Francis Ngannou.
Damn. That'd have been awesome.
Well, no.
Yeah, you're right.
No.
I mean, but you know what? There would have been something exciting about it.
Yeah, murder.
Are we being invaded?
Yeah, something exciting when Francis Ngannou, a natural 270-pound man who hits harder than any human being that's ever been recorded. He's the hardest punch ever recorded.
Well,
Francis is terrifying.
I think Nate can take him, dude.
You think so?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Nate just never ends, bro. He can't.
I hope you're never a bookmaker.
Yeah, that's true. I hope so.
There's certain things that you just can't. There's certain physical attributes and advantages you cannot overcome. It's not saying that Nate isn't an amazing fighter. Nate is an amazing fighter. It has been for a long time. I mean, you can go way back. Nate has been submitting and beating people for a long fucking time. He's a tough motherfucker. He's gigantic.